Our presentation will include 5 model portfolios that illustrate how investors with different risk profiles can go about building their global investment portfolio. This presentation is brought to you by Rachna Makhija, Senior Analyst, iFast Financial India. Over to you, Rachna.
Thank you, Dipali. Good evening, one and all. I'm Rachna Makhija, Senior Research Analyst with iFast Financial India Private Limited. Today, I'm here to present on Global Model Portfolio. So yesterday, we had a good session with Mr. Krishna Karwa, my colleague, who explained you about the global recommended funds. Today, I'll be presenting on how to build a model portfolio with those recommended funds. Okay. So let us start with why model portfolios. We all know that asset allocation is a very important part of investment strategy, which is made in line with our investment goals and also the different risk tolerance levels. Now let us see what is the impact of diversification on a model portfolio. So here, as you can see in the chart, we have taken 2 indices. One is the MSCI World and the other is Nifty 50. So if one had invested for 10 years in MSCI World Index, he would have got a return of 12.8%. But again, in case of Nifty 50, which is a domestic focus index, he would have got return of 10.8%. Also, if you see the drawdowns, during the coronavirus pandemic, when there was crash in the global markets, MSCI World corrected by 36.5%. But again, Nifty 50 corrected by 42%. Now let us take a look at how different markets perform differently. Now, as you can see in 2011, when there was correction in the global markets due to the European debt crisis, all the markets corrected. But the quantum of fall in all the markets were different. In India, Sensex fell by 25%, but again, Europe fell by only 15%. Also, if you can see here, for the 2020, the latest year, you can see that it had, all the markets had fallen. But again, the recovery that all the markets witnessed after the recovery from the crisis, it is different. Europe is in fact still struggling to recover as due to the second phase of lockdown in the economy. Now, as an Indian investor, one more point which I would like to highlight as an advantage when you invest globally is the currency movements. That is the returns that is generated to the specific index return due to the INR's depreciation as highlighted in the green. Now, for one example, as you can see in the year 2018, if one would have invested in US, S&P 500 would have got return of 8.6% over and above the index return. Now, in case of Japan also, one would have got return of 10.2% over and above the index return. So also going forward, we believe that INR is expected for a structural depreciation due to various reasons like higher crude oil imports, higher inflation, and also due to RBI constantly buying FX to prevent INR's appreciation. Here's a list of recommended funds, which my colleague had already covered, so I would not be going into detail. But yes, these are the funds which we will be using for making a model portfolio. Now, how do we create model portfolios? Before that, I would like to highlight a few points. Is one, we have considered global funds as a core allocation. All the funds except for the Nifty Next fund is subject to debt taxation. In case of a regional continent exposure, there would be minimum overlap amongst the funds. And before investing, one should always consider the net returns, that is the returns less the expense ratios less the exit load. All the global markets are subject to volatility. One must always consider these times of volatility to increase their exposure. We advise to offer SIP and STP route, and please consider growth options for the respective funds. All the model portfolios will have 8 funds each. Here's the recommended asset allocation, which I was talking about at the onset of the presentation. As you can see, in case of conservative investors who are more risk averse, their allocation to debt is quite higher. While when you move down, move towards the risk curve, you can see that aggressive will have higher allocation to equities. Now let us look at conservative and moderate conservative portfolios. In case of debt, since we have a higher allocation, the durations across the curve are considered. Also, credit quality, that is the exposure to the AAA instruments, are prioritized. Dynamic funds are considered for the alpha returns, and the low duration funds will be helpful for minimizing the volatility of the portfolios. For the equity exposure, only global exposure funds will be considered. We'll look in detail in the next slide. So here's the conservative portfolio. As you can see, for the equity exposure, we have used two funds. One which has global developed market bias, and the other which has global emerging markets bias. We have not taken any region continent exposures while making a equity allocation to a conservative portfolio. When it comes to debt, we have considered four categories. Corporate bonds and banking PSU funds have higher allocations as they are well placed in the short to medium duration curve, and dynamic bond funds are considered for the alpha returns because of the durations, and low durations are considered for minimizing the volatility of the portfolio. Now let us go to the moderate and conservative portfolio. In case of this, again, we have not used any region exposures. We have considered two funds in the category, that is the funds with developed market bias and the other with the emerging market bias. In case of both, the allocations are a bit higher as compared to the conservative. Here also we have used four categories. Corporate bond and banking PSU have got higher allocations, and dynamic funds are considered for the alpha and low duration for minimizing the volatility. Now let's get to the balanced, moderate aggressive and aggressive portfolios. So here, as you can see, the debt, only short duration, short to medium durations are preferred, and low and dynamic are not considered. As for the alpha, we will be looking out for the equity allocations. Now, when it comes to equity, we have considered regional exposures, which is based on our underlying model, and star ratings are considered, that is our IFAS regional expertise. Now let's get into the crux of the model portfolio, that is the allocation rationale of the equity. So here we have used two factors. One is the market cap and the other is the GDP. We have given 50% weightage to each of the factor. So after that, we have arrived at a regional total of 48.4% to US. Again, as we can see that US is steeply valued and the growth cycle has almost played. That is the reason we have reduced the exposure to 40%. Again, for Asia Pacific, we have allocated 40%. As you can see that we expect a regional cyclical recovery where we look out for these continents, China, Japan and India, and thus the exposure is 40%. Again, Europe, where we expect the value play to move going forward. Thus, we have allocated 20%. So here our final allocation of 40% to US, 40% to Asia Pacific and 20% to Europe. Let's look at our balanced portfolio. Here where we have used the model to allocate the equity portion. So you can see that 40% is being allocated to US, 40% is being allocated to Asia Pacific and 20% is being allocated to Europe. In case of debt, we have used only two categories, that is corporate bonds and banking and PSU, which are well placed in the short to medium duration curve. Now let's get into the moderate aggressive. Here also we have made the equity allocation based on the underlying model. So 40% of the equity is being allocated to US, 40% to Asia Pacific, and 20% to Europe. In case of debt, we have considered corporate bonds and banking and PSU. Now let's go to the aggressive portfolio allocation. Here we have used the similar model, 40% of the equity allocation to US, 40% to Asia Pacific, and 20% to Europe. For debt, we have used only two categories, corporate bonds and banking and PSU funds. So once your model portfolio is built, we'll always think, when do we actually rebalance? So one, when there is any change in the regional star ratings. Second, when there is a change in the fund attributes, that is any change in the fund manager, any change in the fund strategy, that is the respective continent exposures. Again, if there is consistent long-term underperformance of the scheme versus its benchmark or its peers. And also when the risk profile changes, that is when a conservative profile wants to shift to moderate conservative. These are the stages when we actually will think about rebalancing. With this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you, everyone. Please post all your queries in the chat box, or please mail us at research.in@ifastfinancial.com, or please send us to queries to our BD team, who will get in touch with you. All the presentations and our reports are available at the iFast booth. Please download and take a look at it. Thank you one and all. Over to you, Dipali.
Thank you, Rachna.